Welcome to SAD TV News. We are happy that you could have joined us. I am Alicia George. In our top stories, 2 major roadways earmarked for the town of Portsmouth. Employees of PwC justify protest action. In the region, 5 arrest warrants issued in Haiti corruption probe. And internationally, Ivory Coast bans flight from 3 states hit by Ebola. In sports, Clive Lloyd appointed governor of West Indies selection panel. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. Plans for the development of 2 new roadways for the town of Portsmouth have been outlined as part of development plans for the town within the 2014-2015 national budget. Parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency, Honorable Ian Douglas, at a town hall meeting on Thursday, announced that 2 major roadways are expected to be constructed to aid in the flow of traffic in that community.
We want to construct 2 major pieces of roadway because we feel that we can alleviate some of the non-essential traffic going through the town.
He explained that much of the traffic coming through Glanville and into Borough Square can be attributed to the congestion in the town. The plan is to cut a new roadway which would divert traffic to other parts of the north to ease traffic flow through Portsmouth.
A lot of the traffic that comes through Glanville and comes into Borough Square that probably aids in the congestion in the town are really traffic that is en route out of the town and not really coming into Portsmouth to do business. So the buses that come en route to Dodan, Paybush, Vekas and Penville, Calibishi do not necessarily have to come into the town. So we want to cut a new roadway from Picard, Glanville, straight across into 1 mile.
The minister said the initiative will also open up new land space for commercial and residential use. The other major roadway will run in between Purple Turtle, Cotton Hill and Bell Hall to facilitate the Moroccan Hotel and a new 5-star hotel which is anticipated to be constructed in Portsmouth.
So that also is to facilitate the Moroccan Hotel, which incidentally will begin again shortly, will commence towards continuation and completion, of that hotel. And there is a second hotel, 5-star hotel, which is to come on the Bell Hall side, on the northern side of the Cabris, the Range Hotel.
Minister Douglas spoke of other plans to allow smooth flow of traffic, including the construction of a new bus terminal on Borough Square, rehabilitation of the administrative building, and the construction of one-way roads through the town. Employees of the Public Works Corporation, PwC, today staged another protest action to get their voices heard on a number of issues affecting them. General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, DPSU, Thomas Later, said efforts to resolve issues facing the Public Works Corporation have not gotten the attention it deserves, hence this action.
Up to last Friday, the guys had not been paid for 3 fortnights. 3 fortnights, that's 6 weeks. The monthly paid employees had not been paid for 2 months. Social Security contributions are not being paid on their behalf, and therefore, when they are not well, when they are ill, when they are sick, they do not receive medical benefits. People did their income tax return for the 213 year, and only to realize that they cannot get their returns or their refund because contributions were not paid on their behalf.
He told SAD TV News that employees who have retired from the PwC are yet to receive their gratuity, while medical benefits are not being honored by the government. Meanwhile, the employees of the PwC expressed frustration, saying they are suffering and need to get paid as soon as possible.
I have 3 kids. One actually represents Dominica all the time. She was in Carifta, she was in inter-school, she was in CUT Games a couple years ago. Every time she leaves, I have to look for money for me to give her for to buy something. I cannot just send her away like that. When I work and I can't get paid, it's not like I am not working. I am working. I am working. And I'm not getting paid. How am I supposed to feed my kids? Bookstore going to open, how am I supposed to buy books for them? How am I? Last month, OWASCO ended up cutting my water, but I had to go to be getting my kids and go and carry water from the public pipe. I live on a hill. It's difficult for them. I mean, today, not the time for people to be doing those kind of things. I mean, I work. It's not like I'm sitting home and doing anything. I'm coming to work. I actually sit on my desk, I do my work. Sometimes I work at the asphalt plant, I go down there, I assist in mixing and everything else. I mean, at the end of the day, I want my money. I want to take care of my kids.
Sylvester said she's also concerned about her job security, as the site of the corporation has been earmarked for the construction of a 5-star hotel by the government. Another PwC employee, Hudson Vidal, says he has been working with the corporation for 8 years, and inconvenience at this point is unbearable.
I work 3 fortnights, and when I come to get my money, they short pay me. They take all my additional tasks. Right now, I have to go back to work today. After they short pay me last week, I have to go back to work today. And I have to make that issue to the corporation. I used to work at Pokase Quarry. They transferred me to Colio Quarry, right? And I used to get some liquor transportation allowance. From time I go to Colio, which is further than Pokase, they take off the transportation. And all I'll go to them for that allowance, they're turning me upside down. So I really want to know what that's going on.
Employees of the PwC, in addition to the DPSU General Secretary Thomas Later, met with Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit on Monday to discuss the PwC's issues. SAT-TV will provide an update with the details of that meeting in tomorrow evening's newscast. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, in addition to the family and friends of Corporal Kerwin Matthew, said their final goodbyes as he was laid to rest on Saturday. 44-year-old Corporal Matthew of Benz died suddenly about 7:30 p.m. on July 21, 2014 at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Reports are that Matthew had complained of chest pains and was reportedly diagnosed with a trace of bronchitis. Matthew served in the police force for 24 years and was a committed and dedicated officer in the field of engineering at the Coast Guard base in Ponquele. After the viewing at police headquarters, his body was transported to Portsmouth for the funeral and burial. Our sympathy goes out to the family of Corporal Matthew. May his soul rest in peace. When we return, find out the latest efforts of the Ministry of Agriculture to control black sigatoka. Welcome back. A new disease-resistant variety of bananas and plantains will soon be introduced to Dominican farmers in a bid to prevent these crops against diseases, namely black sigatoka. Black sigatoka is a fungal leaf spot disease of banana plants first discovered in Dominica in July 2012. Which has severely crippled the banana industry. In an interview with SAT-TV News, Ryan Anselm, head of Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, said the unit has spent over $1 million trying to combat the disease.
We are going to develop a new strategy, and we have what we call a draft banana and plantain strategy, looking at the plantain and banana industry, not only the diseases but production system. We are going to bring in resistant varieties, and we're going to work with organizations such as CADI, which is the research arm of the Caribbean, and the banana accompanying measures funded by the European Union is going to give us some support.
Anselm said the new strategy will introduce 6 resistant varieties.
We're going to bring in 6 resistant varieties, and some of these varieties are on island, and we are going to do some experiments in terms of testing these varieties in the different ecological zones of Dominica in 6 areas.
Anselm told SAT-TV News that some of these varieties are not for commercial use and cannot be shipped to the United Kingdom.
These varieties are not, some of them are not commercial varieties, so they cannot be exported to the UK. What we're going to do is to do some customer testing. We've gotten some favorable results of these varieties. Some of our housewives, they like how it cooked, they like the taste when it's ripe. So again, we have some positive feedback. But the strategy really is to bring in the resistant varieties, the tolerant varieties that will fight against black sigatoka.
The plan involves working with commercial fair trade farmers to develop a strategy that can maintain the local market. Later this week, the unit will meet to discuss the implementation of that strategy. Friday, August 8th marked the final day of a 2-day consultation on the CARICOM's Rapid Alert System for exchange of information on dangerous non-food goods, CAREX, which was held in Dominica. Acting Director of Trade, Mathan Walter, said a number of stakeholders involved in trade were introduced to the CAREX system.
Somewhat of a new initiative But the concept is one that we understand to be very important, very necessary, very timely, and as a result of which I think the participants, in an understanding of that, acted accordingly.
CARICOM Single Market Economy Unit Deputy Program Manager Philip McLaren said following the consultation, CAREX will be activated in all the OECS member states.
The web portal is already up, but you need to get it populated. You need to get member states as national authorities and contact points to begin to use the system. So we were able yesterday to walk them through the software and the application, the online application of the CAREX.
Mindful of the resource limitations of member governments in establishing and operating adequate market surveillance systems, McLaren said it was recognized that the system could also aid in preventing the importation of dangerous goods.
So the system will be a way of ensuring that information on dangerous goods is shared throughout the member states almost at the same time, so that member states and the authorities will take the necessary action to deal with the products that are on the market.
This, he said, can be achieved by stopping such dangerous imports at the borders. He has called on the cooperation of regional customs departments to ensure that progress is made. And in court news, Peter Prevost of Marigot, who has 10 previous convictions for theft, has been sentenced to prison for 6 months after admitting in court that he has acquired taste for expensive liquor. Prevost was accused of stealing 2 pairs of sneakers with $150 from Z-Mart in Roseau on August 7th, 1 red label and 1 black label Scotch whiskey, valued at $195.74 from Save-A-Lot supermarket on the Riverbank the same day, and 1 bottle of black label Scotch whiskey costing $128.89 from Save-A-Lot on July 28th. He pleaded guilty to all 3 charges. The facts indicated that he had entered the Save-A-Lot supermarket on August 7th and placed the 2 bottles of whiskey in plastic bags, which he had taken from the express cashier. Upon exit, he was approached by the security officer, who informed him that he had seen what he had done. A struggle ensued between the two when other security officers came to assist. Prevost was subsequently taken to the police headquarters. While in police custody, being questioned about the alleged theft, Prevost admitted to the incident at Z-Mart and Save-A-Lot on July 28th. In court on Monday, Prevost told Magistrate Bernard Paquette that he had just walked into Z-Mart, picked up the shoes and left. He also pleaded for leniency from the magistrate, who described him as an incorrigible rogue who has been incarcerated 8 times for the same offense. On each count of theft, Prevost was sentenced to 6 months hard labor to run consecutively. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights. Yes,